Hello. So it's November 30th, and it's been almost a week since I finished the 75 Hard Challenge. And before the month ended, I just wanted to give a little quick recap on how this last month went. And I guess I'll talk a little bit about 75 Hard. So last month, I made a few goals to set the pace for this month because I know I was going to be really busy, and which I was. These last 3 weeks have been very, very difficult, very challenging to navigate, but we made it. You know, the time never goes back, never stops, so you got to keep going, you got to keep pushing, right? So let me just pull up the goals from last month, or this month, for November. Yeah, there we go, for November. So just to get about 8 hours of sleep every night. Try to put 2 to 3 hours of studying each day, and showing up even when I didn't want to, as well as doing some music practice 15 to 30 minutes daily so I can catch up. Now, let me break this down for you. November is a very difficult month for students because there's so many deadlines, number one. Number two, this semester I had 5 group projects, and my last presentation is the day after tomorrow. So that means I am still not done, and a lot of my work is take-homes, a lot of essay writing, because that's how my program is. And November is a busy time because of birthdays, events, and I had family responsibilities as well. So 8 hours of sleep was a little difficult to get. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was difficult. There were days where I was just like consistently sleeping 6 because all my deadlines were in like 1 week. Or there would be days where I'd just take a day in the weekend to sleep 8 hours plus. Like today, I woke up around 11 because I needed that time for myself. But all in all, I could tell if I was tired. I was tired 2 weeks this month, and I knew it was going to happen. I was a little sick too, but I made it through, so I'm happy. As for 2 to 3 hours of studying, these group projects take a lot of time. And if you have one for every single one of your classes, plus extracurriculars, it becomes difficult to study. So I wouldn't say I was studying, I was more so doing the work, doing my assignments, but it was still fairly consistent. I did feel a little bit burnt out this past month, but I still pushed through because, I got deadlines to meet, and it's not too bad. And I did show up when I didn't want to. I still tried to make time for runs. To be honest, one thing that I struggled with this month was running. A lot of this has to do with the fact that it's a lot colder now outside, and it is harder to run when there is literal sleet on the ground. Like, if there's more than like a couple centimeters of snow, then I wouldn't go on a run because it's not great. Also, my shoes aren't waterproof. So yes, but for the month of December, maybe I will change it up and try to figure out something I can do so I can incorporate my runs and maybe hit the gym harder. I also did practice a lot of music. A lot of the times I just ended up going more than 15 to 30 minutes. I'm getting back into the routine of that, which is why I put this in my goals for this month. And I know I can sing better than I am right now, but it will require me to be more consistent. I think a great way to get that practice in is by singing on the weekends, putting in those hourly practices, and throughout the weekdays, listening to the songs and just practicing here and there, maybe singing it once a day or something. So not too bad, but I was able to get the songs that I need to know done and stuff. But this month I need to put a little bit more emphasis on music just because I have a program coming up. So it's not too bad. Now, I'm going to move on to what I plan to do this month. So, or this upcoming month, because it's not December yet. December 1st is tomorrow, and the timing of this video is great. I like the lifestyle that I have as a result of 75 Hard. But in order to maintain that, because I'm not living as rigidly, I need to incorporate it into my lifestyle and make it more feasible, because that was a really big thing I was struggling with during the challenge. So, considering that I have exams, considering that I'm teaching myself mental and physical discipline, I have decided that I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every day, and I'm going to try and do the bulk of my studying by 12 p.m. I'm going to limit the hangouts. I think I've made a lot of new friends in this last month, which is great. I love meeting new people. I love connecting with new people. But I'm going to limit my hangouts, and I'm going to complete work on my own. And the way I plan to do this is to go to the quiet floors of the library and maybe schedule in a cafe session here and there. I think that will be very important. As for eating, this was very difficult these past 3 weeks. I've not been eating that great, and I can tell because it is impacting me physically. I feel more tired. I feel more cranky. So eating 3 meals a day is very important, especially when you're studying, and it adds structure to my life. Therefore, I'm going to try and eat 3 meals a day. Meal prepping helps a lot with this. So now that my busy season is kind of done, I'm just chilling at home and just studying for finals. I think this will be possible. So I'm going to be eating 3 meals a day and sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night, because it is exam season, and sleep is actually the best way to get good grades. For me, at least, I value my time, I value my sleep, and 7 to 8 hours would be great. I think the best thing to do is to set a bedtime, and, if I'm waking up early, then I gotta go to bed early, which is why I need to end this video soon. And last but not least, in addition, if I cannot run and I'm struggling to go to the gym, I think 20 push-ups a day would be good. I'm in a place, actually, I started this last December. A friend of mine encouraged me to do 20 push-ups daily, and I did it, and I loved it. And I got good at doing push-ups. So I'm going to bring this back because I enjoy doing that. So I'm going to do 20 push-ups. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things, 5 different goals. I'm also going to include music practice in there, but that's just going to come with a new routine. Me writing this routine down is going to help me stick to it. So I'm going to try and do that. I do like to go to Carleton to study, but maybe I might limit that. I don't like staying at home, and I don't really like my school's campus that much, but if I'm going to Carleton, I could just take a break during lunch, and then I can study there on the 3rd or 5th floor in peace and quiet. I have friends there, but I can always hang out with them later on, right? I just don't think I'm suited to study in a group setting. So, yeah. Now, moving on to the recap of 75 Hard. This challenge was mentally difficult and physically challenging as well. The person that I was coming into the challenge is very different from the person that I am now. Mentally, I've developed quite a lot of integrity, grit, resiliency, perseverance, positivity, right? Physically, my body has changed. As of the last time I checked, I'm down 7 pounds. I'm assuming I've probably lost a pound or 2 since then. But I won't know till I go home. But also, it can, even though it was very positive, I think there was a lot of negative things that came with that too. Because, I would not sleep enough. And that's something you need, especially as a runner. You need time to recover and rest. Another thing is like eating properly, eating on time. As a student and as someone who's very involved in extracurriculars, sometimes I just don't have time to eat. That should become a priority. So I think I value that a lot more, and I will continue to value that more. I get lazier in winter. I feel like in winter semesters I tend to do worse, but I'm trying to prove myself wrong. So there's that. I really loved running because every time I ran, I felt like I could stop the cycle of overthinking, which is why I value it so much. It's my one time to just take a break and breathe. It was like my me time. And I miss running along the canal when the weather was good. But, running in the snow is it's not that bad. It's just, sometimes it's wet and cold, but I'll see what I can do. And if not, maybe I will run at the gym. So we'll see about that. I also broke some rules that should have been non-negotiables, but I don't regret it because for me, this challenge was about building consistency. I was pretty strict with myself the first month, and then after that, I gave in to the fact that Halloween was happening and hanging out with my friends and stuff. I'm 20, and I don't think that's bad to have, a little candy here and there, or to have a McFlurry. I had a McFlurry one day. Having some ice cream, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I think I've become more conscious of what I consume, and I don't consume a lot of random crap anymore, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I think one day for Halloween, I hung out with my friends. We had to eat out. It was fast food. I didn't have a choice. Tried to balance it out. The food wasn't that great, but I did my best. Had a lot of shawarma on the days that I couldn't cook and I was exhausted. Sure, I bought out. That might be higher in calories than making shawarma at home, but has a little bit of greens, has a little bit of protein, has a little bit of carbs. Not bad. I was still able to get the results I wanted. And for me, it's about being fueled. It's about eating well. If you're running, you can technically get away with eating anything, but to me, eating well is important, So it's okay if I broke things here and there, if I had a drink or two. That it's not an always thing. This is just about my 20s, enjoying life and just enjoying the company of others and new experiences, inviting that in. So I don't feel very guilty about it, but it's important for me to be transparent. I didn't really talk about it during my challenge, but this did happen. There was a few times where I ate out or had a drink or something. It's not that bad though. I balance it off. I tell myself I'll go on a run, I'll hit the gym. Everything in moderation, right? It's not like I'm doing this every day. I'm having ice cream. Nuh-uh. It's just like when I want to. Even now, because of the challenge, I also noticed I don't like ice cream that much. I used to love it. I used to crave stuff, but ever since doing this challenge, I've been making things at home. My eating habits have changed. Today I made pasta sauce on my own. I no longer buy store-bought pasta sauce. And that stuff takes time, but honestly, it's so worth it. Now, less calories, but still very satiating, still very healthy. I know what's going into my food rather than random names that I don't even know how to pronounce. So it is worth it, but it is an investment of time, money, and effort. So it's not easy to live this lifestyle, but maybe treating myself like an athlete, I like that. It correlated well with my grades and my success in school and career. I was able to learn a lot of time management because of this. Therefore, I think this challenge was very successful in changing my perspective on life and the person that I am and my habits. which is great. It's been what? It's been about 80 days since I started. And I'm very happy. I'm very pleased. So I'm just going to continue going like this with my life. You know, having that one day on the weekend to, so these are my takeaways, right? Having that one day on the weekend to meal prep and just enjoy my presence. That's very important. It's harder when you travel, but it's very, very worth it. One thing I will do in the future is I'll have stuff prepped in the freezer. So when I am struggling, you know, I have something to eat when I'm hungry. Because that was a really big thing that I'm struggling with even now. But it's getting better. It's harder, especially because I'm vegetarian twice a week. But you got to do what you got to do. You got to, you know, go with the flow. So there's that. And treating yourself like an athlete, it forces you to lock in, forces you to do better and strive for better outcomes in everything that you do. I think more than being outcome oriented, I'm more focused on the process now, and I feel less worried, which is good in a way. So there's that. And I think also I drink a lot more water now. I think I value that more. I never was a water drinker, severely dehydrated all the time, but now as a runner and whatnot, I think I just naturally drink more water. I see myself getting through bottles really fast. I don't buy coffee out as much anymore. I don't really drink lattes. I like to drink cold black coffee, like black coffee with a dash of milk. And a lot of things don't sit right in my tummy anymore, like lattes. I love myself a good latte, love myself a good hot chocolate, but I don't drink it like that anymore because it just doesn't sit right with me. I like the light bounciness of the food that I consume, so I try to keep it like that. Yeah, it's not too bad, but, you know, I'm not going to give up running. It's going to be harder in the winter for sure. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm struggling right now, but I think if I hit the gym, hit the treadmill, it'll be good. And same with the gym, like pushing myself to go on my own. I hate going to the gym alone, but it's good for me. So I will muster up the courage to go tomorrow. At least I've been able to get a run in every week, so that's not bad. And another thing is like also the duration that I run. I like to run a long time, but it's okay if I can only just get in a 15-minute run. That is totally fine too. So that's something I have to also tell myself. Overall, 75 Hard was such a great experience. I'm really grateful for my friends, family, my whole support system. It was great. I really enjoyed it. But it's just not practical to do. That's why it's so easy to break things. That's why it's so difficult, you know, but for me, there's more to life than just doing a challenge. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to see new things. I want to explore. And I'm not unhealthy. I think I have a very healthy lifestyle. And this just set up the foundation for that. And now I can pick and choose the things that I like and don't like. I did wish I read more this semester, but it's really hard when you're in school. Right now, I'm craving to read a good self-help book. I really want to do that, but I just can't. I don't have the capacity for it. So, yeah. Anyways, December is tomorrow. December gives me a lot of hope. And I might not be able to stick to this challenge once I get home because I am going back home for the winter holidays. Weather, once again. Also, I don't really take all my clothes with me. Don't have the same gear. But I'll do my best to stay active. I will enjoy my time because it is the holidays. And I don't get to see my loved ones like this for a long period of time. Especially because I live so far away from home. So I'm going to take that time. I'm going to enjoy. But I'm also going to make it fun and active. Maybe go to the gym with my cousin and my brother. That's a great way to do it. you know, go on walks with my mother inside the mall. That's another great way to get that activity into my daily lifestyle. Same thing with the 20 push-ups. I think that's such a great effort. So there's that. And just being more cognizant of what I'm eating, where I'm eating, how my plate looks like. I think now I'm more cognizant of eating lots of greens and protein and carbs, balancing it out. I know what makes me bloated and what doesn't. I've just become more self-aware in this whole challenge. Like, that's what really came out, and that's something I really needed, and I'm really glad. So yeah, anyways, that's the recap, and I'm gonna start this 20 push-ups a day challenge for the month of December. I cannot wait. So I'm gonna go to bed now. I've got stuff to do. So good night. Bye.